You're listening to a Soul One podcast.
So if you remember, Taylor, I accidentally swore on the show last week. Had to beep that out. And it was when I was speaking passionately about reviewing theater plays. And on my way out of the office, I was cornered by two of the people who run the publication that I was doing reviews for.
Do you share an office with them?
No, we share. The building is sort of an arts center that I have an office in. So they also have an office on a different floor, but they sort of came down and cornered me because they wanted to actually ask about my experiences. And oddly enough, the two people I was speaking to agreed with me.
Okay.
Which I was very surprised.
So
I'm like,
it's
oh
the
no,
higher ups.
That's right. It's like another level of.
They hadn't, to be clear, they hadn't listened to the episode.
No, because that episode's not going to come out.
Oh, right.
Later, and even this one.
Because you could just say, well, just listen in a month.
That's
and you'll
true.
Hear my full review.
That's right. They definitely will. But I was pretty honest with them. I mean, I said the same things pretty much that I said to you. So we'll see.
So what? So they're like, yeah, you're right. We can't write real reviews. That's essentially. That's how the conversation went.
Yeah, pretty much. It pretty much went the way our conversation went. It was just, explaining how I feel about reviews and how I feel about.
Do they get paid for that gig?
The two that I was speaking to, yes. Like, this is kind of their part of this publication. And one of them is, I think, taking over a big position. So I think there's some potential of things changing there. Yeah.
Would they describe themselves as journalists?
Like the two I spoke to, yeah.
Okay, so they're like theater journalists or arts journalists?
Or journalists in general, but this particular group has an arts focus a lot of what they do. Like, very community focused. It's not like they don't do other things, but it is very arts and culture and very community focused. So I think, whether or not they have arts backgrounds, that's just a good question. But
they're journalists. I understand.
Yes, definitely would consider themselves journalists. Yeah, absolutely.
So they're like, yeah, what we're doing is not journalism.
Right. And that's the sort of, I think they agreed with the premise of what I was bringing to the table, which was nice. That was a nice surprise. I'm used to conversations not going that route. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm used to conversations not going that direction, for one reason or another.
I don't think your experiences I think your experiences are probably just indicative of like being a certain age working. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you find that there's like older people in your industry? Are they the ones that are poo-pooing you, or is it actually people similar to our age?
I think it's either older or younger.
But I guess we're elder millennials now.
Yeah,
we're the
definitely
ones. And everyone older and younger than us is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lump everyone into that, but
your experiences,
in my experiences, all my issues come from people who are 15 to 20 years older than you and I, or literally the generation younger coming into the workforce for the first time. And I think we talked about that a bit in this meeting, actually, about, the times have changed, the world has changed. And I'll say, without any doubt in my mind, those changes are for good. I am for the changes we've made in a lot of ways, and I'm for continuing to grow. I do think there's a massive difference, though, when you get into conversations where you cannot give critical feedback or say anything that is perceived as negative. Being negative is sort of lumped in with bullying.
We're all kind of like walking on eggshells.
Yes, which I don't. That is helpful. Yeah, I don't think it's helpful to walk on eggshells, especially when it comes to the point I made is engaging with art is supposed to be a conversation, and there's supposed to be discourse. And if you don't have it, you don't have art.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I stand from. And I think you and I on this show experience that a lot, where we just say what we feel about our experience about the movies we saw. Why is that bullying or even negative? I keep using the word negative. Why is it negative to give feedback?
It's not. I think normal, sane people who are just living in the world every day. I mean, we wouldn't be on air this long, Mike, if if there were people who didn't agree with our review style. I think what we're doing is just normal, and that maybe in some spheres you're operating in, some people are just, they're wrong. But it's interesting because I think in most places of work, and again, I feel like I've been like slagging on older people, and it's not the case. I love older people. People know that any movie with a European grandma, I'm gonna watch it. People know that I love grandmas, but
definitely.
I feel like just sort of what you're describing with like maybe an older generation who are like getting ready to retire. Sometimes it's hard to maybe innovate, but I'm surprised. So that's why I asked because I wanted to affirm you and say that I don't think that's unique to the arts community. But I guess what is surprising to me is the younger generation also giving you a hard time. I'll be honest, we have a couple summer student workers who work for us kind of casually, but I don't have like a day-to-day interaction with them. And so aside from those people who are in high school, I'm the youngest person on staff. So I don't have to put up with the youngins the way you do.
Yeah, and I have nothing but respect for everybody, regardless of age. Like, age is not what makes me disrespect somebody. It's the way they act. And younger and older people are just acting in a way I don't like.
Fair enough.
To me, that's like pretty clear that there's an issue. Now, at my current job, I'd say I'm having the opposite feeling, especially about the younger people. We have several people who are interns or kind of new work experiences working with us, and they've been great. Like, it's been nice. So maybe it's only like the immediate generation below us, and then once you get younger, that's right. Maybe we've corrected it with the generation prior.
Yeah, there's just like you said, 15 below, 15 above.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it. That's everybody else is fine.
It's interesting that we're talking about young people, Mike, because my movie is about teenagers and your movie is about literal children. So
yeah, and I think my movie is, without a doubt, trying to bridge a gap. Yeah. Like, appeal to both, right? Bridge that gap of like, oh, if you saw the first Toy Story movie, you probably have kids now and are taking them to this one.
Right.
Like, they're trying to do that.
Your movie's literally about children, but it's actually toys.
But it is about children. Like, you aren't wrong. It's about children's relationships and growing up. And yeah, like, that is what Toy Story's always done, and done very well. So yeah, it is kind of about that. And even this movie demonstrates at the beginning some of the fears I have in life, is how much people are afraid of things. Yet the movie, expertly as it does, takes this story that is, about technology and screen time, and starts off in a very, I think, fear place of this is the bad things of technology, screen time bad, and tells a more nuanced story with it, which is, to me, that's the measure of intelligence. Like, I've been thinking a lot about what makes, what's intelligence? What is it? It's not just the collection of knowledge, but it's how you apply it. And I think it's how you can see subtlety and nuances in almost everything. It's really fascinating, Taylor. Like, these discussions, I find are really interesting, because we talk about on this show AI before.
What makes humans human?
What makes humans human?
What makes us different than the robots?
That's right. We've kind of gone through this a lot. And I think this is one of the differences is we have this capacity to see nuance that a machine can't really see. And I think that is demonstrated really well in this story, because you can't end this movie the same way you began it, with the same feelings. Like if you're paying attention to this movie, you'd actually come out of it not being as afraid of screens as you if you were before. So
Interesting.
it's very, I think it's a really interesting discussion. Being not a parent myself, I'm sure though this is a thing that parents go through. How much screen time a kid should have, that kind of thing. I think they did a good job with it. Again, that's speaking from not having a child, so I don't know. Maybe this movie did a terrible job. I don't know.
So why don't you back up a little bit? I am not a Toy Story kid. It was quote unquote a boy movie growing up. So it wasn't like my parents didn't buy it for me because it was a boy movie, but it was a movie I associated with my boy cousins. And I probably saw the first or the second one like at my cousin's house and never saw it again. I do not have the emotional attachment to Toy Story that a lot of people my age have. So forgive me, you're going to have to fill in some gaps. So this is Toy Story 5. I'm pretty sure I've seen the first two, which I guess would equip me to see the fifth one, because this movie is about the cowgirl, Jessie, who's in the second movie. So, right. Okay, let's skip 3 and 4, movies 3 and 4. This movie is about, what's the name of the boy?
Andy.
Is this about Andy's own child?
No. So I'll give you the quick synopsis of Toy Stories 3 and 4. Okay. Andy,
I know Forky's somewhere in there.
Forky's a complete. I'm not even going to get into Forky. That's a complete other kettle of fish, as they say. So, movie 3, Andy is too grown up for toys, and he donates these toys to Bonnie, who is a very, very young girl
sister.
Who, they're not related. It's like his mom knows this family somehow.
He does have a baby sister in the first
That's
movie.
right. But she's only a couple years younger than him. Like Bonnie's like 2-3-year-old baby.
Yeah, okay.
And Andy's going off to college. So Andy in the third movie donates and sort of gives his toys away, but in a very cathartic, well done. You would be crying, Taylor. You would be like, not even butterfly tears. You'd be crying real tears. Like it gets you. And he hands off his toys to Bonnie. And then movie 4 is the first movie with Bonnie, and it is the end of Woody's story. So it's about Woody coming to grips with, being passed off to Bonnie, but also that his own group of friends and even Bonnie need him less than others do. And so Woody leaves, which leaves Jessie and Buzz and the rest of them kind of with Bonnie. And the fifth movie picks up with Bonnie is only a couple years older, like still very, very young, like maybe like somewhere in the kindergarten kind of year, definitely talking and walking and running around, but kindergarten, early school age. And the movie is essentially about her struggle to make friends, because every other kid has what they call these, basically it's an iPad, but it's a lily pad. And it lets them talk to each other and play games and all these things. Every other kid has this. She does not. And her parents sort of reluctantly go through the decision of buying it for her. And then it becomes the old toys versus the new toy, which is exactly the plot of Toy Story 1. So replace Buzz, right, with
a computer,
a tablet, and replace Woody with Jessie, and you have Toy Story 5. Unlike many movies that repeat, and then it's like, oh, this is just like a repeat of the first one. It is the same plot as the first Toy Story movie, but it's expertly done. It's done very, very well, and the nuances and changes they make and the new characters they bring in all work very well, and it's a clear handoff to Jessie kind of have her story, because it's not, if anyone's seen the previews, Woody's in it. It's not like he's not in it. He's just not, him and Buzz are not the main character. Jessie is the main character. It's the main toy. And they go off on this adventure to help Bonnie make friends, and while also fighting this technology, which is able to make Bonnie friends in about 15 seconds through group chat and friending and all these. Like, it's kind of, the movie talks about the difference between online friends and real friends. Friends that see you for who you are versus friends that see you for sort of a surface reason or thing that you can just kind of bring to the table that helps them. So it's really, that's the plot of the movie. That's what happens. And again, I can't help but repeat myself. It's expertly done. Like, it's a mastercraft in sequel movies. Anyone out there looking to do a sequel movie, this is your example of how to do it well. The comedy lands extremely well in this movie. I was laughing. I did not bring a child of age child to this, and I was laughing and enjoying myself. And I do think it hits the heartstrings in an earned, well done way. It's not just playing sad music so you'll cry, and that's what I mean by butterfly tears, like fake tears.
From what you're describing, it's not like a nostalgia movie in the sense
No.
that, a lot of these movies right now are, you grew up watching it and now we want to grab the parents plus their kids.
Yeah, it's definitely not movie. That. It's definitely not that. It doesn't really rely, the only knowledge it relies on for you is who these characters are. It doesn't really rely on you knowing the other movies at all. Unlike, I think, Toy Story 2 and 3 and 4, to get into that a little bit. This one felt of the Toy Story world, but clearly a new story.
And whoever stood alone.
Very much so. Yeah, I think you might have needed to add, things at the beginning as to why certain things are happening, but still enough that I would say, whoever wrote this knew what they were doing, knew a story they wanted to tell, and I think they didn't do it just to make money off of a Toy Story movie.
They still care about the IP.
Yeah, whoever wrote and directed this did. Yeah, I don't know about everyone. I'm sure the show. I think we all know why the movie was greenlit.
Yes,
but I think that's what this is the balancing act that I think artists have to understand more. A studio will greenlit this type of movie, greenlight it because they want the money. But you as the artist, it's up to you to then now do something with it and add some nuance.
You don't have to be lazy.
You don't have to phone it in.
That's
right. Thank you for saying that, because that's exactly it. Don't phone it in then. Give it your all and find that meaning in there. And they did a really good job. The voice acting work is great. Conan O'Brien voices one of the funniest, stupidest toys you could ever think of. But it's so funny. So I don't know where this came from, because I don't remember having anything like this. But it's basically like a toilet training toy where it's got a little screen on it, and you like press 1 or 2, and there's little games you can play. But it's also like it sort of trains you to use the bathroom properly. Like that's what it is. Like that's for little kids. And he voices this thing, and it is the funniest thing ever. Again, even his like kind of toilet humor puns just work. I don't know if it's because it's Conan O'Brien or just how it kind of fit in, but he's very good in this, and all the new characters are really, really interesting. And I think this movie does a really good job of presenting a problem, villainizing the problem, but much like Inside Out 2 with Anxiety, I think what you end up walking away with is, you know what? Little technology isn't going to hurt anybody. Screens have their value. Technology has their value. It's all about moderation and learning and understanding, and technology can also save the day as well as it can be villainous. Like, there's all these great things that I think you walk away with that made me go, oh, this movie's a see it. And I think you should take your kids to see this movie. I think this is the type of movie where you can get a lot out of it. and a really great example of you don't have to fear new things, everybody. Just because screens came into play doesn't mean it was the end of toys. I mean, television was the end of radio for a while, except, Taylor, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, we're Radio 2.0.
Right,
And
podcasts.
they
innovated, it changed, right?
We literally were on radio.
We were on radio,
so
right. So radio didn't die when television came in, like everyone said. It changed. And now podcasting, I mean, became super popular over the past, I'd say, 10 years. Some would say that
maybe podcasting has peaked, but yet we persist.
And it continues, and I think there's still new podcasts all the time, and lots of celebrities still do podcasts. So there's obviously an audience for them, but you see what I'm saying is that when
I know what you're saying.
When television came out, people were as freaked out about TV for radio that we were today of screens or AI or whatever the new thing is that we're afraid of.
The car is gonna make horses go extinct and stuff like that, and you can still have a horse if you want. So I know
that's a really old, but no, that's good. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Oh no, the invention of the car means that horses will no longer exist. So it's I hear what you're saying, Mike. I'm just not personally attracted to this IP. It sounds like in your experience it was a very good one.
Yeah,
a good film. I'm seeing a little bit of internet chatter. Most people seem to be liking this movie. I saw one really interesting post. I blame the algorithm. The mom was really ticked off that Woody's not the main character, and she thought it was like some sort of like statement on like gender and masculinity. And everyone in the comments were like, no, it's fine. You're overreacting.
That has nothing to... No. I'd say of every movie that existed, the Toy Story couldn't be less about masculinity. It's not about anything like that. It's... Because
the mom was like, they really sidelined Woody, and my boy is a huge Woody fan, and now this movie should have been... Her argument, and this was kind of like an anomaly. Most of the chatter I'm seeing is positive, but she's like, this was a Jessie movie. This should have been like a spin-off movie, not Toy Story 5. And I'm like, now you're just arguing semantics. Like, she's in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the fourth movie was about her. Mm-hmm. Like, chill out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the last movie did a good job of
setting her up as
setting her up, and kind of ending to a certain degree Woody's story. Now, I'm not saying he was shoehorned into this. So
he's in it.
He's in it, yeah, and that's he absolutely is in it, and he's not shoehorned in. He's not like there. He plays a very specific role. But I do think that his story's done. His arc is over. Woody just can be used as one piece of the puzzle or one support character. The main character shifting to Jessie just makes a lot of sense for what ends up being a story that should be about her, and that makes sense to be about her. And I don't know why it has to suddenly be a problem. But again, that's just one person's expectations or opinion. And again, I mean, if you're going to be sexist about it, that's one thing. At least she's engaging with the art. Like, here's an example of now we can have that discussion. What is Toy Story about? Why does it make sense to move on from Woody? What is Woody's role in this universe moving forward? So I think that there's a lot to be said there. But I thought the movie just did a great job of explaining itself. It just was really good.
All right. I'm glad you had a positive movie-going experience, and that... Sorry, Mike, what's your final review? Did I miss it? I assume people will know, but have you said it out loud?
Oh, maybe I didn't. This is a see it.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't say it. Maybe I thought I did, but no, I probably didn't.
Well, you're just gushing. Yeah. It's hard to remember when you're just gushing about a movie. I'm glad that it's this might be the most positive you've been about a movie this whole year?
Well,
Right.
pressure. Now, last week I think Pressure.
Yes, you loved that one too.
Yeah, so I think 2 in a row for me. It's been 2 in a row for me that I'm like,
Very
great.
good. Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if Toy Story 5 is nominated for an Oscar, wins
Best Picture.
Best animated for sure, maybe Best Picture. I won't be surprised. And Pressure, I kind of felt the same way. I think last week we talked about it. Another movie that deserves some awards recognition. So yeah, 2 good ones in a row for me.
Okay, so
What about you?
I not as positive. I watched Driver's Ed. This came to Amazon at the end of June, I believe. At least it was in my, new releases on Amazon at the end of June. It looks like it was screened at TIFF in September, and then it did have a theater release in America in May. As far as I know, it was not in our theaters in Canada, but it certainly now is available for streaming.
Is there a reason it wasn't in Canada?
It just says here in January 2026, Vertical, which I assume that's an independent film distributor. Vertical acquired the distribution rights to the film, and it was released theatrically and on digital on May 15th. But I have not seen it on Canadian. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. I have not seen it on Canadian streaming until the end of June. So you know how distribution goes.
Yeah.
Their deal was only for America, and then a Canadian distributor picked it up. I'm not.
Is this a smaller budget movie? Like, is this not a big studio one?
It wasn't. Okay. This film was directed by Bobby Farrelly, who did Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
It's co-produced by AGC Studios and TFC Productions. I'm not familiar with those production houses.
No, neither am I.
Cast is. I thought this was an Amazon movie because Kumail Nanjiani is in this movie, and he's been in a lot of Amazon stuff lately. So he's in this movie. Molly Shannon's in this movie. Alyssa Milano has kind of a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also I can't find who it is, but there's the security guard is also pretty recognizable in this movie. So it's not nobody's, but the main four. So this movie has a very simple premise. This is I would describe this movie as a teen comedy. Movies that we would have grown up with might.
Right.
But the difference being it just does not capture the same magic, I would say, of 2000s and 90s and even 80s comedies. But anyways, before we get into that. So there's 4 kids who are in high school. They're all 18. They're seniors. And they're in driver's ed for various reasons, but they know each other in the sense that they go to school together in driver's ed, but they're not in they're not in a shared social group, right? So the lead character, Jeremy, his girlfriend, it's September at school of senior year. His girlfriend is already at university. She's already at college. She is a, what do you call that? Sophomore, junior?
Sophomore?
First year. It's her first year of college.
Freshman.
Yes, she's a freshman. Sorry. And, they make that obvious crack about it's not creepy because they're both 18. She just, whatever. They do make a joke about the age thing. But she's gone away to college. He is lovesick. He misses her so much. He thinks that she had maybe broke up with him. And so he steals the driver's ed car to drive to her college to essentially, make a grand romantic gesture. He hasn't really thought it through, but he's going to drive there. And then these 3 other driver ed kids are essentially along for the ride. He steals the car and then he says, you don't have to come with me. And then, because it's a teen comedy, they're like, we're going to come with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Otherwise we won't have a movie.
Yes, exactly. And then Ku, Ku, Kumail
Kamel.
or Kumail, yeah. He plays the substitute driver's ed teacher who's kind of like in support of them. And then Molly Shannon plays the principal. And then there's the security guard. And essentially the adults are trying to like find them to bring them home. But because she doesn't want to involve the police because it will jeopardize her job, they're kind of doing like a rogue rescue mission to get these kids. So like, I would say a pretty basic setup is that, you know, you have one day in the life of high school students and they have a goal, and the movie is essentially the ragtag adventure to get to that goal at the end of the movie, right? So the only problem is this movie has nothing like unique or like interesting. Like, I've seen this movie a million times, Mike, and I've seen it done way better than this. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's funny, you know, we started the conversation talking about like, oh, like we're having a hard time maybe like relating to our older or younger coworkers, or you know what I mean? Like, and I'm very hesitant to say this, Mike, because it's a whole can of worms and I don't really want to get into it and I don't want to be called out for it. But it is the question of, are comedies funny anymore because of politically correct culture?
Yeah,
or whatever. That
comes up, that comes up a lot, or whatever. But that has been a big topic.
I feel like this movie suffers from that culture of like not taking any risks. You know what I mean? Like even the kids, aside from like stealing the car, the kids aren't doing anything like particularly risky. Like certainly not the stuff we would have seen in movies growing up, where like the adventure. Like I think of, to me, and I'm dating myself, but to me, the quintessential teen coming of age comedy from our generation, Mike, Superbad.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Superbad. I was going to say American Pie, but that might be a little bit before us.
Those are a little bit before us, but like I certainly watched American Pie growing up.
Yeah, like American Pie, the sequels were coming out, I'd say, when we were kind of teens, but definitely Superbad came out
on TV, and the American Pie movies, like, so like that to me is like, and even like Wet Hot American Summer, which again is like a little bit, you know, the timing's a little bit fuzzy, but the whole charm of those movies is that it takes real life but essentially makes it larger than life, but looks at like real issues that like kids are dealing with or young adults are dealing with, but almost through like an absurdist lens. Like, even though Superbad is based on the recollections of Seth Rogen and his buddy, I think Ethan, I'm sure like some of the things that happened in this movie were like exaggerated for comedic effect.
Oh, of course.
I can't imagine those things happen beat for beat.
Definitely
I felt like this movie like took no creative or like storytelling risks, and it was just like, it was fine. You know what I mean? But like, it's not like a highly quotable movie, or like, it was for me like very forgettable. So what I will give it praise for, I thought that the 4 leads were very good. In particular, I felt like, and her name's not even hyphenated on Wikipedia, so she must be like pretty new to acting. Sophie Telegatis. And she reminds me of like a young Reese Witherspoon. Just like, she has sort of this like effortless ease on screen, and I think it'll be interesting to follow her career, because like Reese Witherspoon, or even she's in I'm blanking on her name, but she was in Sophia oh my gosh, I can't think of anyone's name. Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette.
Okay. Yeah.
Who is that actress? She was also in An Interview with the Vampire when she was very, very little.
Yeah. What's Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst. So she has that kind of, I don't know, that like ease. The only thing is, I felt like some of her mannerisms, like when she was just like acting and like standing still, she was very good. But I don't know if it was a director's choice or maybe she's just like a young actress. She kind of would move her body or like make gestures in a way that like didn't feel like real. And the only other actress who is doing that was Molly Shannon, who
Mm.
I think, you know, coming off of being in like SNL comedies, like that really like big physicality. But even I felt like Molly Shannon's body movements needed to be toned down. Like I felt like the director should have been like, okay, girls, let's kind of let's contain that a little bit. But the lead who played Jeremy, Sam Nivola, and then there was Mohana Krishnan. She played another. It was two girls and two boys, and then Aiden Laprette played Yoshi. The four of them were all very pleasant to watch. Like to me, they suit this genre, and it will be interesting to see what they go on to do later in their career because they looked very natural on screen. They had good chemistry in the cast. I think this movie just really suffered from having a very generic script.
Mm.
Like they weren't given a lot to do, and what they did was fine, but there wasn't a lot of jokes or situational humor. Where the movie really picks up, so they're on this road trip to get to this college. A couple things happen on the road, but like not super funny or anything. And then they
Right.
get to a party at the college, and there's a couple of funny situational things that happen at the party. And I'm like, okay, this reminds me of the movies I watched growing up,
Right.
where, you know, like, and I'm like, that's where the action was. But I just wish, you know, more stuff would have happened. And I don't know. I appreciate, and I know you don't like when I make this argument, Mike, but I appreciate that I am no longer 16
Mhm.
and like and teen coming of age comedies are not made for me. I appreciate that. But I
Right.
feel like you know, I watched a ton of movies with my mom growing up, and like Superbad, for instance, my mom found that movie as funny as I did growing up.
Right.
Like it's so like I think you're right, Mike, in the sense that the hallmarks of a good movie is you can watch it at any age and still enjoy it. Like you watching Toy
Mhm.
Story 5 and like really enjoying that movie, even though it's technically for parents and their kids, but like you don't have kids and you still were able to enjoy that movie. So
Mhm.
I think I should still be able to enjoy teen comedies, like dumb teen comedies, and be able to turn off my brain and enjoy it. And it's this one's tricky because there's nothing in the movie that's necessarily bad other than like it's just not particularly funny.
Right.
Like
Right.
it wasn't even like they were telling jokes and the jokes didn't land. I just felt like there wasn't jokes in this movie.
Right. Right. You just saw a lack of jokes.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
wonder,
Yeah.
and that's where I was like, is this just because like film writers are like afraid, like because you hear that a lot, Mike, that the movies we watched growing up didn't age well,
Mhm.
which like meh, like here or there, like I it's been a couple years since I watched Superbad, so I can't really answer that one honestly, but
Yeah.
so
I
like
haven't
I
seen
don't,
it in a while.
it's almost like this fear, like we don't want to age poorly, so like we're not gonna like, you know, we're not gonna say that joke, but like I don't know, you can still be funny, like
Yeah. It seems like for you this movie, for lack of a word, just fell completely flat. Like it didn't strike the one thing it's supposed to do, which is be funny. Like what's a
yeah.
comedy supposed to be? Funny. Like that's it. That's what it has to be.
And if I'm going in to watch a teen comedy, I expect it to be dumb.
Right.
Like lean into the fact that like go dumb funny. That works
Right.
too. Like
Yeah.
I think that's something that Adam Sandler does really well, where like he commits to a bit, and sometimes the humor is like stupid and juvenile, but like it's
Mhm.
funny for a reason, and we
Mhm.
all like to tap into that 15-year-old self and whatever. So like you laughing at the potty humor jokes with Conan O'Brien in your movie, right? Like
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
you don't need a PhD for things to be humorous. Like it's okay sometimes to go lowbrow. Not like the whole movie is just like potty jokes, but you know what I mean, Mike? Like
I do. Yeah.
I felt like they didn't even try,
Yeah.
or they like weren't willing to go there.
Yeah.
And so this is a very forgettable movie. That being said, Mike, even though like
here we go, a Taylor rating.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, it should be a skip it. To me, this is an airplane it, Mike.
So what, like, you think there's enough
like
there
the
that's still
stories,
interesting?
Like the kids themselves like have good chemistry, so like there's enough plot to get you to the end of this movie. You know what I mean? And see how it's going to be resolved. Just don't expect this to be like a barrel of laughs. I think this movie, it's like an hour 40, an hour 45. You're on an airplane, you need to kill some time. You could turn this on and like you will not remember this movie at the end of your trip, but you spent an hour 45 and you're closer to your destination. So that's fine.
That's fair. I think that's really good way to put it. You know, I think at the end of the day, you got where you were supposed to go.
I think part of it is I was impressed with the young cast, and I am interested to see where they go. You know, I hope this isn't a flash in the pan for them.
Yeah.
The one, Aidan LaPrette is on the show The Wilds. Mike, was that a show that you watched?
The Wilds? No, I don't. No, I don't know that one.
That seems to be his big credit. Oh, it's a Prime. This is again. I wonder because I'm on Wikipedia looking at the details. I'm wondering if in Canada it was picked up by Amazon, or like maybe Amazon helped to produce it, because again, this Aidan LaPrette has connections to Amazon through The Wild, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the only other one who has big credits to his name is the lead, and he has The Perfect Couple and season 3 of The White Lotus to his name.
Okay.
Do you watch The White?
No, another one I just have never gotten to. I know there's a lot of people who love that show. I know it's gotten a lot of like a kind of a cult following, and people really, really love it. I honestly just have never given it a shot. I never sat down and tried it. Even though I like Mike White, who wrote it, because he wrote old School of Rock and a bunch of other comedies that I really enjoyed. And I've just never, even though it makes sense for me to enjoy it, I never sat down to watch it.
Maybe we'll get around to it one day. Anyways, Driver's Ed. It's an airplane for me. Definitely don't rush out to see it, but if you're stuck on an airplane for a little while, turn it on.
Yeah, there you go. And this also ends the episodes, whoever you are listening, if you're still out there, of our pre-records for July, because we took July off. But we'll be back in August with episodes that we're recording kind of closer to the release date.
Fresher.
So we hope you're still listening through all these episodes. But it was a busy June, I will say. There was a lot of interesting things going on, but also a lot of interesting movies. But you and I, our future selves, probably have seen a few movies. We'll come back in August with some July movies. But this ends those long pre-records. So maybe the world's changed, Taylor, and it's not there. You know, we don't know.
Oh, like when we get to record our July episodes, the world has ended, and
or people are listening to this, and everyone's like, "Hey, why aren't you talking about that big thing that happened?"
Right.
I don't know.
Armie Hammer is in a movie. There is some movie news. By the time people hear this episode, this will be old news, Mike. But have you been seeing the Armie Hammer news that he's in a movie?
He's in a movie,
and it's apparently like pretty. I mean, I always want to be careful when I get into this, but because I don't want people to ascribe certain political beliefs to me. But it's media is saying like it's kind of like a right-wing movie because of like the subject matter, and so like people are immediately writing it off because it's Armie Hammer, and then because of the content, he's like a vigilante against. I'm not sure. I don't want to do the synopsis. I'm not sure exactly what it's about, but anyways, the content So politically, people are like, no. And then they're like, Armie Hammer, no. And then people in the comments will be like, he wasn't actually, he was found innocent from those crimes, whatever. And then on top of it, no one wanted to touch this movie. And then Elon Musk apparently was like, watch this movie. So now it's being distributed. So that's the movie chatter right now, at least on my algorithm, is that Armie Hammer is trying to make a comeback, but it's in like not a great vehicle to make a comeback.
Wow, that's what a way to leave off. This could be really old information, but this is the perfect thing to say at the end of this episode, because this could be so old news. Armie Hammer could be in jail, could be the president by the time this comes out,
a month from now, anything could happen. But anyway,
Taylor,
I wanted to leave you with that.
We got to see this movie. we got to talk about this movie. It's
called Citizen. Okay, really quick. Armie Hammer.
Yeah, find out everything you can about this movie right now.
Citizen Vigilante.
Okay. Sounds about what you described.
The Guardian is describing it as Armie Hammer returns to obliterate the imaginary woke pinata of Europe-stan. That's word salad. Don't understand that. And then Elon Musk shares Armie Hammer film critics panned as morally bankrupt.
All right. So when we return, we will be reviewing, what is this? Citizen Vigilante?
Citizen Vigilante.
Citizen Vigilante. We're going to find this movie. One of the episodes in August, it's going to be this. We got to talk about this. I don't care. I don't care what I'm going to do. We're going to be canceled
just by reviewing this.
We're doing this. We're got to review this.
It's being described, Vox describes it as violently xenophobic.
It's probably the stupidest movie too. And our review will be like, this movie just sucks. It's not even worth talking about.
Yeah, but Elon Musk is backing it.
Yeah,
so.
we're going to review this.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, there you go. That's a great way to leave off with that. Thank you, everybody, whoever's still listening through, I know, busy summer time. We'll be doing some really fun summer movies in the weeks to come. So stay tuned.
Go see some movies.
Thank you for listening to You Had Me at Skip It, a Soul One Arts Inc. podcast. This podcast is produced by Mike Shepard and Austin Spinner Summer. It is a project of Soul One Arts Inc. To learn more about Soul One and all the great work that Soul One is doing in the arts community, especially in film, theater, and other performing arts, visit soul1arts.ca. You can contribute to this podcast by visiting soul1arts.ca and going to the podcast tab. You'll find all the information on You Had Me at Skip It and how you can get your questions read on air each week. Thank you again for listening.